Hi, doing a little experiment. I just thought I'd make a series of videos around at least some of the homework to try to explain how it's done. I don't know that I'll be able to do it every day, but just something I'm gonna try to do. So this is the homework coming home the night of Tuesday, February 20th, and we'll just start from the beginning. So the idea would be that the kids try to do this on their own with your help. However, if you need a little guidance yourself, like I've said in some correspondence, my kid also does already, and I know sometimes the questions can be confusing and the methods are unfamiliar, so I totally get it. So yeah, I'll just kind of walk you through some of it, and again, I'll try to do this as often as I can, and possibly even add other lessons to this channel as we go. Just kind of an experiment. So, but yeah, so February 20th homework. So number one, the question is 481 minus 372. It asks that you first regroup 110 as 10 ones in 481 and then subtract. So the reason is 481 minus 372, you can't take 2 from 1 without going into the negatives, so you have to regroup in order to do that. So 481 equals essentially 400 plus 80 plus 1. So that's how it looks here, but we're going to change this a little bit. So instead, where it has these boxes, we're going to take one of the 10s. So we takes 110 out of 80, and we give it to the ones. So notice that 400 plus 70 is 470 plus 11. This still equals 481. So before, when we had 80 plus 1, 400 plus 80 plus 1 equals 481. All we're doing here is taking one of the 10s and adding it to the ones place. So now we have 400 plus 70 plus 11. 372 equals 300 plus 70 plus 2. And now we can do the subtraction. So we have 400 minus 300 is 100, which is in that box, plus 0. 70 minus 7 is 0, plus 11 minus 2 is 9. So hopefully that makes some sense. So that is number one. We end up with 400 plus 70 plus 11, and then 100 plus 0 plus 9 at the bottom. So number two, the answer is just what we just wrote, which is 109. That's how many fewer points Max scores than Valeria. Okay, so then going to number three. Okay, so 473 minus 187 equals 286. So what they're asking for is which ways can we check if this is correct. So the first option it gives, 286 plus 187 equals 473. That makes sense. If 473 minus 187 equals 286, then it should be the case that 286 plus 187 equals 473. So A is correct. B, 286 plus 286 equals 572. That doesn't mean anything to us. We don't care about 572. We don't care what 286 equals. C, 187 plus 286 equals 473. Notice C and A are the same. With addition, you can add either way, it doesn't matter. 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 2 equals 5. So this is also correct. So A and C are correct. D, 473 minus 286 equals 187. That also ought to tell us the right answer. If 473 minus 187 equals 286, then 473 minus 286 ought to equal 187. It's kind of how, like, if 10 minus 7 equals 3, then 10 minus 3 should equal 7. So this one, D, also correct. E, 473 plus 286 equals 759. That doesn't mean anything. We don't get anything from that. And then F, 759 minus 286 equals 473. Again, 759 has nothing to do with us. We can't use this information. So A, C, and D are all useful ways to determine whether this is true. Okay, number 4, 604 minus 398. So we want to find two different ways to use a number line to find that value. So the first way is a way that we talk about often. It's where we add up. So when you add up, you start with the lesser number. 398 is the lesser number. And then we're going to add up, and we got to add up to the greater number being 604. So 398, what we generally do in class, we find the next 10 or just kind of an anchor number to work from. So if we go up 2, I'm just using the boxes because they often do on the assessments and some of the other work, then that'll get us to 400. We've been working a lot in class on just these like foundations of 10 or the building blocks of 10. So 7 and 3, 8 and 2, 6 and 4, 9 and 1. Just trying to get comfortable with this idea that those are easy numbers to work with, or at least they simplify things when we work with those kinds of numbers. So that gets us to 400. Now we gotta get it all the way to 604, so we're gonna make a big jump to 600. Since 4 plus 2 equals 6, 400 plus 200 will equal 600. And then finally, a little smaller jump, 600 to 604, which is 4. So the next step here is then to add 200 plus 2 plus 4, and that gives us 206. And so we can check that real quick. 398 plus 206 equals 604. So we know that's true. So that's one way to use the number line. The other way would just to go in reverse. So to essentially do a subtraction number line. So you start at 604. We'll go back 4 to 600. We'll go back 200 to 400. And then we go back 2 to 398. So either way, you still get that 206. So 604 minus 206 equals 398, and 398 plus 206 equals 604. Okay, so that is the two ways to do number 4. Finally, we have number 5, 800 minus 426. So I'll show you a couple different ways that we could do this. One would be that number line way, and we'll just do the adding up way. So we start at 426. We're gonna end at 800. So 426, let's get to our next anchor point. So we'll add 4 to get to 430. And 7s and 10s works here too. 30 plus 70 equals 500, and then 500, 5 plus 3 equals 8, so 500 plus 300 will equal 800. And now we just add those up. 300 plus 70 plus 4 equals 374. So that should be our answer, 374. I'm going to show you another way. It's essentially the standard algorithm. So actually, let me just show you two different ways. So 800 minus 426. Now the problem is that I can't take 6 from 0, I can't take 2 from 0. I mean, I can't take 20 from nothing. So I'm gonna borrow, right? I'm gonna use one of these hundreds. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna make that a 7. So now there is only 7 hundreds in the hundreds column. I'm gonna put 9 tens in the tens column and 1 10 in the ones column. So that'll allow me to do the math. So just to spell that out a little bit more, 800 can equal, 800 plus 0 plus 0. That's not particularly helpful. But 800 can also equal 700 plus 90 plus 10. So that's what I've done. I've taken the 800 and I've just changed the format. So instead of just having 8 hundreds, I have 7 hundreds, I have 9 tens, and then I have another 10 in the ones place. In theory, that ought to give me the ability to do this math easier. And so to spell that out in the same way, 426 equals 400 plus 20 plus 6. And so now I can do the subtraction. 10 minus 6 is 4, 90 minus 20 is 70, and 700 minus 400 is 300. I add those together, and I get 374. And the same deal over here, 10 minus 6, 4, 9 minus 2 is 7, 7 minus 4 is 3. So 374. This can be kind of challenging, pretty tricky. I've taught 4th grade a lot, and getting into borrowing over zeros, even at that age, can be kind of tricky, but this should serve as a good introduction for the practice. Okay, again, I hope this is helpful, yeah, we'll try to keep it going. I'll provide as many of these as I can as we go, and possibly for other stuff too. Thanks. See ya.